You hate where you are, where you grew up, what you came from, the city, the room, the life. But let me tell you something no one says. The place that broke you is the same place that made you hard. And hard people built from real pressure are the most dangerous people alive. You didn't get a clean start. So what? Neither did anyone worth fearing. The ugliness of your environment is not your weakness. It is your weapon, if you're willing to pick it up. For years, you ran from it, built a clean version of yourself that had no connection to it, no accent, no story, no origin. A version built on distance from your own life. Every new face, every new room, you managed it carefully, said just enough, moved past it fast, made it sound small. And that distance had a cost, not once, every single day. What did that cost you? Not the obvious part, the deeper cost, the one no one names. You were carrying weight that was never yours. The shame was not yours. It was placed on you by a world that decided your start said something about your value. You picked it up without thinking. You carried it every day, into every room, and it cost you every step. It was not true. The neighborhood was real, the struggle was real, the lack was real, but the shame, that was borrowed, that was never yours. You were not less because of that place. You were being tested in it, not by choice, not by design, by default, by pressure, by necessity. And necessity teaches in ways that comfort never can. What did you learn there? Think hard, not the surface answer, the real answer. You learned to size up a room fast without being told. You learned to trust the feeling. When something was wrong, it was wrong. You learned that waiting for rescue was a plan that never worked. You learned to move with nothing, to find the one opening when every door was already closed. None of that is normal. None of that comes from comfort. None of that was available to buy. The ones who had everything, good start, good school, good safety, what did those people really learn? What did those people build? When no one came, when the room went cold, when nothing was handed over, nothing. The safe ones went home, made a call, waited for better conditions. You learned to handle it yourself. And that gap right there, that is not a small thing. That is the whole thing. Handling it yourself. Not because someone told you to, because no one was coming, because the place you came from did not produce people who wait. It produced people who move. It produced people who notice, people who act when others are still deciding.
Soft places produce soft responses. Hard places produce something different. You came from a hard place. The anger you carried, not about money in the abstract, not about unfairness in theory. It was specific, personal. You saw the gap up close, the ease, the access, the certainty, the way some people moved through rooms, the room already theirs before they entered. And the shift in you did not come with warmth. It was cold. It was a decision. The one sitting in that old space, the one who got quiet, did not cry this time, just went cold, just decided. That one found something, not comfort, not hope, something harder than both. The cold version of you is more precise than the angry one. The angry version wants to hit. The cold version decides. Deciding is different. Anger burns fast. Anger makes noise. Anger is visible. The cold version of you makes no noise. The cold version of you calculates. The cold version of you does not need anyone to know. It needs to win. Every hard year that passed, every year the world did not care, every year you moved anyway, built that version, not by choosing the hard path, by having no other one. And winning for you means something different. For the comfortable ones, winning is confirmation. The world already felt like theirs. For you, winning is a statement, every single time, that the place you came from was the point, not the problem.
That cannot be understood, not by anyone who had it easy. The path was not the same. You know what those people had: access, connection, second chances, the benefit of the doubt, the room already trusting them. You know that, not in theory, up close. You saw average work get the thing you bled for because the room already trusted them. What does that do to you over time? What does years of that do? Not the surface answer, the real one. It either breaks you down or it strips away everything that should not have been there. The softness, the patience for the wrong things, the politeness toward people who were quietly taking from you. Gone, gone, gone. What is left is you without the apology. Without the apology for where you came from. Without the apology for how you move. Without the apology for being hard. And that version of you has no ceiling. The safe ones had the right school. You had no other option but to work it out yourself. The safe ones had the right network. You built the ability to size anyone up fast without introduction. The safe ones had a safety net. You built the tolerance for the fall. Now you are both in the room. The ground is equal. Nobody is handing anything over. Who is more ready? Not the one who practiced in comfort. Not the one who planned from safety. The one who already knows what it costs to go forward with nothing. The one who already knows what it feels like when no one comes. The one who already knows how to produce results in a broken environment. That one, you. The difference is not talent. You knew that already. The difference is tolerance. Tolerance for pressure. Tolerance for discomfort. Tolerance for being the only one still going when everyone else found a reason to quit. Safe people have a reason to quit too, but those people also have an exit, a safety valve, a number to call. You built your tolerance without the exit. That is not a disadvantage. That is your edge. Edge. Not the polished kind, not the kind a certificate gives you, the kind earned in the dark when no one validates it, when no one confirms it, when you are the only one who knows what you just survived. When the confirmation does not arrive, you already know how to go without it. When no one names what you just did, you already know what it cost. You carry the proof in the way you move when it is hard. That does not come from a classroom. That does not come from a good start. That comes from years of building in the hard place you came from.
And here is what most people miss. The shame was a signal, not of weakness, of unfinished business. You were ashamed because you had not used it yet, not because it was wrong, because you were not ready to turn it into something that wins. What does staying ashamed cost you? Not this year, over a lifetime. What does it cost? Every year you call it damage is a year you fight at half strength. Every year you keep it hidden is a year you give up
the one thing no one else has, the real experience, the real hunger, the real tolerance for hard. Half. That is what the shame costs. Half your edge, half your fight, half of everything you built, given back every single day to a version of yourself you already outgrew. And that is not a small thing. That is the whole game. Your origin is proof. Not proof of what it cost, proof of what you can handle. No one comfortable could have made it, not through what built you. When safe people pity your origin, it is a confession of what those people could not have survived. That pity is not about you. That pity is data. It tells you exactly how hard the path was and how few people could have walked it.
But none of that changes anything if you are still ashamed. None of the edge, none of the real experience, none of the endurance, none of it moves until you pick it up. You know what the shame actually is, not a feeling about the past, a habit, a daily choice that where you started means something about where you are headed. You make that choice every day, whether you know it or not. And the choice is wrong every time. The start does not decide the finish, not even close. The start tells you what you were given. The finish tells you what you built. Two different things, completely different things. And you are the only one who controls the second one. Not your neighborhood, not your family name, not the school you went to, not the people who had more. Not the people who doubted you, not the system that worked against you. Not a single one of those things controls how this ends. You do.
The one angry for years about the wrong things. The one who gave years to people who didn't deserve a second. The one who lost sleep over people who slept fine. That one. This is for you. The anger was correct. The direction was wrong. Direction, not feeling, not amount, direction. Anger turned inward breaks you. Point it at the work. Point it at the gap between where you are and where you decided to be. That gap is the only thing worth your anger. Not the people from the right start, not the backing that came with privilege, not the access you were denied. None of that is in the room, not at the table when you work. The only thing in the room is you and what you decided to do with everything the hard place gave you. That thing you found when you sat in the old place, when the room went quiet, when the anger passed and something colder took its place. That was the shift. Not from weak to strong, not from broken to whole, from hiding to using.
That is the whole arc, from hiding to using. You hid the neighborhood. You hid the hunger. You hid the suspicion. You hid the ability to function when everything is broken, when the resources are gone, when no one is coming. Because you were ashamed of what it said about you. And while you were hiding it, people with none of it were in the rooms you wanted. Not because those people were better. Those people had no war inside. You used half your energy fighting your own origin. The comfortable ones used all of theirs on the goal. That ends. Not because you forgive the hard place, not because you are grateful. Gratitude is not the point. Strategy is the point. You do not thank the hard place. You study it. You extract from it. You figure out exactly what it gave you that no one else has, and you use it without apology. What are you now? Not who you were, not who those people expected. What are you
after everything the hard place built.
You came from a place that did not care. You survived things that consumed other people. You held a straight face when you had nothing. You built from scraps. You worked before anyone arrived. You knew the cost when no one compensated you for it. Dangerous. That is the word. Exactly the word. Not talented, not gifted, not lucky. Dangerous. Because dangerous does not require permission. Because dangerous is not built in classrooms. Because dangerous is built in exactly the kind of place you came from. Skill can be learned. Knowledge can be built. Access can be bought. None of that buys the thing that lives in you. After years of real pressure, after years of functioning with nothing, after years of building in the dark, that is not a wound anymore. It was one when you treated it that way. The second you decided otherwise, it became something else entirely. Your origin is not your damage. It is your data, the most complete real training anyone could have, and you have all of it.
1 year from now, if you are still running from it, still hiding it, still apologizing for it, where are you? Still giving away the edge, still walking into rooms half-armed, still letting the origin hold you down, not because it is stronger, because you keep handing it power. 5 years, same habit, same weight, same half-effort, because the other half goes to managing the shame. A lifetime, and you never find out what the hard place actually built. You never find out what happens when someone built from real pressure stops fighting the origin and moves with everything it gave them. That question should scare you more than any failure you already had. Every failure you had, you survived. You already know that. The failures that end you are the ones you chose by staying safe, by staying hidden, by never using what you have. Every year you do that, the gap grows, not between you and success, between who you are and who you were built to be. That is the one that costs the most, not the external failures, the internal distance from the version of you that already has everything needed and does not use it. That is the only danger, not the comfortable ones, not the people with better starts, not the system. You. Staying small by choice. That is the only thing worth fearing. The shift is not coming. It already happened. In that cold, quiet moment, when the anger passed, when the shame ran out of room, when you got still and decided not to feel better, not to be grateful, to use it. You know what separates the ones who make it from the ones who almost did. It is not talent, not timing. The ones who almost made it still had the origin, still had the hunger, still had the edge, just never picked it up. Talked about the hard times, wore the story, but never converted it. Convert. Suffering not converted becomes something that eats you, not outside, inside. Years of energy that should have gone to the goal, going to the wound instead. A wound already closed, but held open by choice, by the daily decision to treat it as fresh. And the ones who convert it do not face the hard place and say thank you, do not celebrate the pain, do not perform gratitude. The ones who convert it get cold, get specific, ask one question: what can this do for me? That is the whole shift, not a softer version, a colder one, more precise, that turns the hard place into an advantage no one can match. The cold, precise version does not need to be loud, does not need to announce the shift, does not need anyone to understand. It just wins. The one awake at 3 a.m. in the old neighborhood or far from it, it does not matter. The old place is still in you. It never left. You thought leaving meant freedom. It just meant distance. The weight traveled with you. The place does not leave. You either put it to work or it works against you. That is the only choice that was ever available. Not whether the place was hard, it was. Not whether it cost you, it did. Not whether it was fair, it was not. The only choice is what you do with all of it. Not the pain of it, not the years of it, not the people who caused it, not the doors it closed, not the time it cost. What you do with all of it. The version of you that survived the hard place proved something without being asked, without an audience. That version did not need permission, did not need validation, did not need the right room. That version just moved. And now you are here, with more to work with than you have ever had. The version of you that survived on nothing is still there. Not a memory, not a story you tell, a working advantage every single day.
Here is where it all lands. Every question still in the air, every thread still pulling, closes here. You came from a hard place. History cannot be changed. You did not get the clean start. You did not get the right name or the safety that came with it. None of that. What you got was pressure. What you got was real hunger. What you got was endurance. The ability to function when everything is broken, when no one comes. Those three things, pressure, hunger, endurance, not for sale, cannot be trained into you, not produced from safety. You spent years hiding those things, deciding those things made you less. All of it was proof of the opposite. The one ashamed of the origin has already surrendered half the fight. That is the real cost, not the past. The fight, given away before it starts. Half surrender every room until you decide otherwise. You already know what to do. Not forgive it, not celebrate it, use it. One thing separates the ones who made it from the ones who almost did. Not talent, not timing, the decision to stop mourning the start and use everything it produced. Safe people cannot pity what safe people could not survive. Your origin is harder than anyone who pities it could have endured. Remember that when the room feels theirs and not yours. You hated where you came from. That was real. The cost was real. The hard was real. The hard place was not a mistake. It was the building. You just did not know it yet. And you are still here, not despite where you came from, because of it. Pick it up.